Digiburst guys, today I just want to do a quick profile on the deck that actually took me to first place at today's regionals. We had 64 players, so 6 rounds, and I went 5 wins, 1 draw, and I was able to beat out the undefeated player in the last round, so that took me to enough points to claim victory. We'll just dive right into it, and I'll go through our matches at the very end. So starting off, we have Cinnamons. This is Adventures. Really nice deck. I like Cinnamon. You want to play the 4, give you back the rookie when you swing with it, give you back a piece that they might have hidden security that will allow you to push for what you need. Several times they hit out the removal piece that was in my security, the removal level 5, that allowed me to wipe their board with, say, a Lilymon when I had like 6 colors. It was pretty silly. So yes, Cinnamon, really nice. Even though I am playing with 4 Ukemon, I want to see just Cinnamons because the 5th egg just does not do it. It's got to be Cinnamon. Into the rookies, we've got the Ukemons. The Ukemon is essential, in my opinion. Getting that search is what you need in order to make sure you have enough colors, enough colors in the Tamers in order to activate the champion effects. A lot of the games I opened up with Ukemon. Going first, I just 1-cost pass, and then pushing out, I was able to find the Tamers that I need in order to actually play the game. So Ukemon did a fantastic job in doing that for me. We've got 4 Beamons. This is the probably the best rookie in the whole lineup. The searcher can get you a Digimon and either an option and tamer. This was really good to search out your tamers if you were missing one, getting that little bit deeper into deck, find another color. Sometimes you can play it and then cheapen the cost when you tap the tamers, and then that can find you a tamer, then you can play the tamer out and hopefully still push. But yeah, 4 BMons was essential. Double Tentamon. This was here for the Megidra and the Sakuyamon matchup, because both of their decks reduce Evo cost through effects. That would be the War Growl and all the delays activating for the Sakuya. So Tentamon did put in some work there. There was a moment where I was going against a Megidra deck and they misplayed because they didn't realize what the Tentamon did, and then they realized that they spent their memory unwisely, so Tentamon did some really good work there. And then the last card was Palmon. This was just another searcher. It is the weaker searcher compared to the Beamon, but it can search you. There wasn't a single game today I used it to search. I just used it to evolve up the egg and swing. But otherwise it was okay. Sometimes the plus 1k does matter. You got to be careful with that with Gallantmons running around, getting too big for Gallantmon. So you got to be. That's another reason why Palmon is knocked down. Going to the champions, we've just got the 1 Kabuterimon. We were only able to do the Kabuterimon once, but in that moment it actually did put in a lot of work. So Kabuterimon at 1 was ideal to get out the other tamer. And then you've got the 4 of the Evo cheating Bergermon and Togemon. They're essential in order to get into your 5s really cheaply and do big pushes. On to the 5s. We've got 4 Mega Kabuto. This is the most important one. Really good disruption to suspend a guy, unsuspend a guy, and really good push. Lots of times where I went into this from a Metal Garurumon Ace to unsuspend the Metal Garurumon, so I can swing with Big Alliance twice. And suspending blockers was also really good too. Otherwise, the option hitting when your opponent removes a 5, you can use the option to play out the Mega Kabuto and suspend their board and interrupt them. It's also green, which is really important going on to the next couple of cards in our level 6s. Otherwise, we've got Lilymon, also a green. This is probably one of the best removals. If they're suspended, you can just bottom deck them. Suspends all level 5k or lower. That's really nice too. There was a moment where I was playing against Numemon. Funny deck, Numemon. they had a bunch of guys suspended. I was able to fish out the Lilymon from the on deletion for the egg and hard play the Lilymon. I was at minus 5k with another effect. I just hard played the Lily, tap all my Tamers, and removed all their guys, and I had blockers out to stop their push. The other level 5s are 1 Zero and 2 Metal Greymon. Metal Greymon's really nice for Digivolving, can be nice interruption, and so is the Zoodomon for source stripping and bouncing. So these are all alternative removals that isn't deletions, and Metal Greymon to Digivolve sometimes comes into a niche. Yeah, we'll go into the 6s. 6s we have 3 Metal Guru and 2 Puppetmon. Puppetmon is secret MVP because it does Digivolve 2 and then bottom deck a suspended Digimon. These are really nice to go into when your opponent swings. You can Digivolve something that isn't swinging and then bottom deck the thing that does swing, and right there that's huge disruption, and it can also block. Alternatively, yeah, you can let them get that one swing in, and on the second swing you can go into the puppet, Digivolve the thing that's swinging, bottom deck the thing that already swung, and then Puppetmon will block the thing that is now weaker because it Digivolved. So really good for Puppet there. And then Metal Garurumon does something similar where it bottom decks a guy, and Metal Garurumon, I was doing the evoing up the hard way just so I can push with the Metal Garurumon, because Metal Garurumon is your push turn. You can get in for 4 swings really easily, or 4 checks really easily with the Metal Garurumon, and then play out on a 5-2 swing per game once you have another 5 established. So yeah, those were the aces. They did really well against Digimon. I played against so many Digimon-like decks, where it was either Digimon or a similar sort of style, like Champion Rush. So yeah, they did some really strong work against those decks. I just had to make sure they weren't 13k, like getting the plus 1k off the Togemon Inheritable, because that would unlock their Gallantmon online. So had to just avoid that and push with them. Onto the Tamers. 2 mat. This was the main important one in order to gain rush. So 3 mat. 3 of the Joe, 2 of the Sora, 2 of the blocker tie, and 1 of the regular tie. These were just really good lineup, a nice spread of colors, and 11 Tamers is a really good ratio, especially paired with Ukumons, in order to get enough colors on the board and search them out. Tie is really nice to set up really early in order to put the memory on 3, because if you play the tie, you're always memory setting to 3, which means you can play another Tamer, and now you have 3 colors unlocked for your champions. So I did that combo quite a bit, and getting the draw off the tie is really nice in order to keep pushing and get enough resources to keep pushing, because like when you play guys like the level 4s and Evo up, you're losing hand advantage, so you need to be able to replenish your hand with things like tie and Ukumons. Also options like Courage and the Rookie Search. So yeah, just got to keep those in mind. And the last cards are for Courage. I didn't do Courage too often this tournament. It was mostly the aces putting in a lot of work, and of course the really cheap champions was able to push. But Courage was a really nice delay in order to maintain that sort of resource on the board, so you can keep pushing with it if a level 5 dies. So otherwise, I had a really nice time, really pleasant experience with our opponents in Oceania. They're always super friendly. Oh, I need to go through my matchups. So we went against Dynamon first set. Dynamon was a really interesting matchup because they made himself immune to Digivolving and bottom decking and returning to hand with the Metal Tyranno effect. That made it really hard to ace, and that's why I lost the first game. But I was able to clean him up in game 2 because game 2 he didn't have that immunity level 5, and then game 3 I was able to push him out before he was able to establish that level 5 again. So I just had to rush and play really aggressive. So thankfully I took that one. Game 2, round 2, I played against Link Dragons. Link Dragons was a really interesting matchup. There were times where if I removed the level 6, he'd play out guys. I just had to be careful not to just to ignore the level 6, and that allowed me to just bash their security and get him to 0, ignoring the level 6 on board. And thankfully he wasn't able to ace with like a Agumon Bond, I guess. But he was actually the black guy at the time, so I was actually able to do that all right. Game 3, I think match 3 was against Megidra. I think this one was a champion. No, this was the round I drew, I think. And I drew against Levier. Yes, this was Levier with Guillemon bottom end. This one was a really tough one because he played really well, and he was able to establish a Levier X in trash, so that if I triggered my courages, he'd go into Levier X and do more bashing. And he set up his delay so you could attack my security. I was able to win out game 2, and then game 3 was a draw. Because we just ran out of time because we were just so tied up in terms of power level. So it could have went either way in that last game. But yeah, that was our first draw. But for the rest of the tournament, we won against a new Numemon deck. I told you about that board wipe with the Lilymons. Then it was I think it was Gil Rush champion, and he just fell into a lot of my aces. And then the last round against the undefeated player, I beat him. He was playing the Gil Ace Rush again, and he just fell into all my aces. So I had some really advantageous matchups the whole tournament, and that's why I picked this deck. I picked up the second because I thought it was a really good counter to the meta. Especially with the green top end, because the green removal is just fantastic for this deck, and the green level 5s are the most powerful of the level 5s you got. Other than that, subscribe, like the video, we'll see you next time.